Welcome to FlyEaglesFly News, where Eagles fans get the latest, fastest, and hottest updates. Hit subscribe and fly high with us. Rumors are swirling in the NFC like a storm that refuses to settle. And at the eye of this brewing chaos is none other than TREVON DIGGS, the cornerback whose presence on the field has sparked both awe and strategic envy. Sources close to the Eagles management hint that the front office has been working tirelessly, behind closed doors, maneuvering subtle negotiations and leveraging connections that are not yet visible to the public eye. The intensity of this pursuit suggests that the Eagles are not just casually interested but are, in fact, making a calculated move that could redefine the dynamics of the entire conference. Conversations within league circles suggest that rival teams are watching closely, recognizing that if Diggs were to join Philadelphia, the ripple effects would be felt immediately across defensive schemes, game planning, and even locker room morale. Analysts are already speculating about how Diggs' potential arrival could strengthen the secondary, disrupt passing lanes, and allow aggressive blitz packages that coaches have only dreamed of deploying. The tension builds not only from what is happening behind the scenes, but from the public's anticipation, as fans sense that a seismic shift in team strategy is imminent and could very well shape the postseason narrative in ways that extend far beyond a single game or matchup. Inside the Eagles organization, sources hint at a level of meticulous planning that borders on obsessive, with scouting reports being reviewed not once, but repeatedly, as executives attempt to anticipate every potential obstacle to landing Diggs. Rumors suggest that internal meetings have been running late into the night, with coaches, general managers, and analysts dissecting past game film, comparing Diggs to other cornerbacks league-wide, and debating how his particular style of play meshes with the current roster. Some insiders indicate that salary cap considerations are being carefully balanced against long-term strategic gains, pointing to the idea that the Eagles are willing to make financial sacrifices to secure a player they see as pivotal across the league. Whispers indicate that other teams may attempt counteroffers or even subtle disinformation campaigns to throw Philadelphia off course, creating a high-stakes chess match that extends well beyond the simple mechanics of a trade or signing. Observers point out that if the Eagles successfully navigate this process, the implications could be dramatic. Suddenly, opponents may need to rethink entire offensive approaches, and the NFC's balance of power could tilt in a way that feels almost preordained by strategic foresight. Fans, meanwhile, are on the edge of their seats, consuming every fragment of rumor and report as though each new tweet or article could be the decisive clue in a story that is still very much being written in real time. The ripple effect of this rumored acquisition is already being felt in locker rooms across the NFC, where players and coaches alike are speculating on how such a move could redefine playoff scenarios. TREVON DIGGS is not merely a single player. He represents a tangible threat that could change offensive schemes, force quarterbacks to make quicker decisions, and potentially expose weaknesses that opponents had previously considered secure. Sources suggest that rival teams are scrambling to adjust defensive and offensive game plans preemptively, aware that the Eagles' pursuit signals an intent to dominate in ways that may have been previously underestimated. Even within Philadelphia, insiders hint at a mix of excitement and pressure, as players anticipate not only integrating Diggs into existing strategies, but also rising to the occasion in practice sessions and game day execution. Rumors indicate that management is acutely aware of the psychological impact such a move would have, both on their own roster and across the league, understanding that perception and momentum can sometimes be as important as the tangible skills a player brings to the field. Analysts point to past examples where single acquisitions have shifted playoff trajectories, suggesting that Diggs' presence could catalyze similar effects, making this rumored move one of the most watched and analyzed potential transactions of the season. Word on the street indicates that this isn't a simple acquisition, it's a statement. Rumors hint that Philadelphia is aiming to send a message to the entire NFC that they are willing to pursue top-tier talent aggressively, unafraid of negotiation hurdles or rival interest. Insiders claim that the Eagles' front office has orchestrated discussions with a level of subtlety and precision that makes the process appear seamless, though behind the scenes, multiple contingencies are being explored. Discussions reportedly cover contract structuring, potential bonuses, and the strategic alignment of Diggs' playstyle with current coaching philosophies, as every detail is considered to maximize both immediate impact and long-term value. In rival team facilities, whispers abound about how to counteract such a move, with scouts and coordinators debating whether shifting offensive personnel or adjusting passing schemes could mitigate the threat of DIGGS' potential arrival. Some sources suggest that the psychological edge gained by announcing interest in a player of his caliber could already be influencing opponents' preparation and focus. The narrative, whether it materializes into an actual transaction or remains a high-stakes rumor, is already shaping conversations, podcasts, and social media threads, amplifying anticipation and speculation with every passing hour. As fans and pundits alike attempt to predict the ripple effects across the league, insiders hint that DIGGS' potential fit with the Eagles extends beyond pure statistics or athleticism. There is talk of his leadership qualities, communication on the field, and ability to elevate teammates through both example and presence. Rumors suggest that coaches see him as someone who can anchor a secondary that has shown flashes, but lacks consistency in high-pressure moments, particularly in postseason scenarios where every coverage breakdown is magnified. The chatter implies that Philadelphia is calculating not just the defensive advantage, but the cultural impact, considering how DIGGS' intensity, work ethic, and reputation could set the tone for practices, meetings, and game day execution across the league. Whispers indicate that other teams are wary not only of the on-field implications, but also of the psychological messaging that such an acquisition would broadcast, that the Eagles are not content with incremental gains, but are actively pursuing game-changing talent to tilt the scales in their favor. Analysts speculate on the domino effect this could trigger, suggesting that teams may now reevaluate their own rosters, trade strategies, and draft priorities in anticipation of a league landscape increasingly influenced by Philadelphia's bold maneuvers. The suspense, both internal and external, continues to build, creating a narrative that feels larger than life, as if the entire conference is collectively holding its breath, waiting for a decision that may reshape everything in ways not yet fully understood. Even the fans are feeding the rumor mill, contributing to an atmosphere thick with expectation and tension. Social media channels buzz with speculation, analysis, and heated debate about how DIGGS could fit into the Eagles' defensive schemes, whether this would create a dominant secondary, and how it could influence playoff matchups. Sources suggest that the organization is aware of the magnified public scrutiny and may even be using it strategically, understanding that controlled leaks and subtle signaling can affect negotiations and rival reactions. Analysts hint that the ongoing chatter is both a reflection of legitimate strategic interest and a tool to test the waters of public perception, potentially creating leverage in future discussions. Across podcasts, streams, and fan forums, the narrative grows more elaborate by the hour, blending fragments of factual reporting with interpretive speculation, generating a sense of inevitability around the Eagles' pursuit of DIGGS. Within the locker room, insiders suggest that players are energized by the possibility, while also understanding the pressure that accompanies high-profile acquisitions, knowing that expectations rise as rumors intensify. The blend of anticipation, tactical maneuvering, and psychological gamesmanship is shaping one of the most captivating stories of the NFC season, as all eyes remain fixed on what could become a transformational move in Philadelphia's quest for playoff supremacy. Whispers from league insiders suggest that the Eagles' pursuit of TREVON DIGGS is creating tremors far beyond Philadelphia, reaching into every NFC front office and locker room as rival teams scramble to anticipate the potential fallout. Rumors indicate that coordinators are running simulations, testing every possible matchup scenario, and debating adjustments to offensive schemes to counter what they anticipate could be a game-changing defensive presence. Sources claim that the conversation is not just about coverage, but about mindset, as DIGGS' reputation for playmaking and high-pressure performance could redefine how quarterbacks approach passing windows and how offensive coordinators balance risk against reward. Analysts hint that the speculation surrounding this move is already influencing how other teams manage their draft boards, salary cap projections, and trade strategies, creating a cascading effect that may alter the NFC landscape even before a single signing occurs. Social media chatter reflects this tension, with fans dissecting every piece of information, whether from official statements or cryptic hints, trying to predict the timing, impact, and consequences of a potential acquisition. The narrative builds layer upon layer, blending factual observation with rumor, crafting a story where each new piece of information intensifies anticipation. and the league collectively seems to be holding its breath, waiting to see if the Eagles will secure a player whose presence could shift the balance of power in the playoffs. FlyEaglesFly News family smash subscribe and hit like. Your support keeps the freshest Philadelphia Eagles updates flying in. Drop your take in the comments and let's talk birds inside the organization. Sources hint at a level of strategic calculation that rivals the most complex game day planning, suggesting that Philadelphia is leaving no stone unturned in its pursuit of DIGGS. Rumors suggest that management is weighing not just the immediate defensive benefits, but long-term cultural and leadership impacts, analyzing how his intensity and communication skills could elevate the performance of the entire secondary. Insiders claim that there are multiple contingency plans in place, exploring everything from contract structuring to potential trade-offs, as the Eagles attempt to maximize value while minimizing risk across the league. Whispers indicate that competitors are acutely aware of the potential disruption, with rival general managers and coaches trying to anticipate Philadelphia's moves and perhaps even position themselves to counteract the strategic advantage a DIGGS acquisition might create. Analysts speculate that the psychological warfare embedded in this process leaks, subtle media hints, and strategic signaling could be as significant as the physical on-field impact, forcing opposing teams to reconsider their preparations in ways that extend beyond a single season. Fans, meanwhile, are swept into this whirlwind, consuming every rumor and report as though each one could contain the key to understanding how the NFC landscape might be transformed by what could become one of the most talked about acquisitions in recent memory. The drama surrounding this rumored move is also fueling debate among pundits, analysts, and insiders about the potential ripple effects on the playoffs, as TREVON DIGGS' presence could redefine the very nature of defensive schemes across the conference. Rumors suggest that coaches are speculating on how his coverage ability might force quarterbacks into riskier decisions, potentially increasing turnovers or creating opportunities for game-altering plays. Sources hint that Philadelphia sees this as more than just a roster enhancement. They view it as a strategic pivot, capable of shifting momentum in high-stakes games where every matchup matters. Across league circles, whispers indicate that rival teams are already recalculating probabilities, considering alternative strategies, and even exploring minor acquisitions that could offset the potential impact of DIGGS joining the Eagles. Social media is ablaze with analysis, fan theories, and heated speculation, with each new report, rumor, or analyst opinion adding to the perception that a seismic shift is imminent. The combination of tactical anticipation, psychological maneuvering, and public speculation is creating a story that feels larger than any single player, as though the NFC itself is collectively bracing for a transformation that could redefine rivalries, playoff predictions, and the very identity of Philadelphia's defense. Insiders hint that the financial and contractual elements of this rumored pursuit are equally complex, with the Eagles' front office reportedly exploring creative solutions to ensure they can secure DIGGS without hampering future flexibility. Rumors suggest that discussions have extended into nuanced areas such as signing bonuses, performance incentives, and salary cap structuring, highlighting the meticulous planning involved in high-profile acquisitions. Analysts speculate that rival teams are closely monitoring these negotiations, trying to understand the limits and thresholds that Philadelphia might navigate in order to make the deal work. Sources indicate that this level of attention is not solely about money, but also about signaling strength, demonstrating to the league that the Eagles are willing to pursue transformative talent aggressively. The chatter implies that the combination of athletic skill, strategic fit, and cultural influence makes DIGGS a uniquely desirable target, one whose acquisition could produce cascading effects across roster planning, game day strategy, and psychological advantage. Fans and media alike are feeding into this narrative, dissecting leaks, analyzing potential scenarios, and speculating about outcomes, creating a pressure cooker atmosphere that adds even more intensity to an already high-stakes story unfolding in the NFC. That's a wrap from FlyEaglesFly News. If you want the fastest Eagles updates, subscribe, drop a like, and turn on the bell. Sound off in the comments. Let's talk birds.